What is up, survivors? We're back again for another mod review. This time we're going to go over the Alpha Everything mod, as we can see behind me. What this does essentially is makes all of the creatures on your map potentially spawn as an alpha. That means more stats, more health, more meanness in general is pretty much what this means. It also means that certain animals actually get a prime alpha sort of ability. What are you doing, Dodo? So essentially all your critters out on the map will have a random chance of spawning in as an alpha. Everything, and I literally mean everything, from a dodo to a T-Rex. Well, T-Rex is kind of normal, but anything, even your bosses can spawn in as alphas. Now, your normal alphas can actually spawn in as primes, and this is what I have as an example here. So we have what we have as a normal example of just a standard raptor here, just normal. I just kind of spawned him in. Then we have about the same size as an alpha raptor. This is the alpha raptor here in the center, and then you have the prime raptor, which is actually out here on the outside. Now normally you can't tame this guy. I just kind of force tamed him just so we could see the size comparison, but even bigger than the alpha variant. That's like easily twice, 3 times the size. Super huge. Anyway, so your normal alphas can possibly spawn as primes, and then everything else has the potential to spawn as a normal alpha. Now you'll actually be able to tame all of these variants, the alpha variants. You can actually tame them, breed them, do whatever you want with them, and they're all going to be bigger and have more stats. Now we have a couple of other things to talk about as far as how this thing works, and there's a fully customizable INI and also a little gun that we can talk about as well. All right, so there's no way to actually spawn these critters in as the alpha and have a big thing over here to show you, but there's no real way to turn this thing on to like force spawn in an alpha version. But what you can do is you can spawn in this gun that you can use on wild creatures, and you can just shoot it at any wild creature and it's going to turn it into the alpha variant. So this Lystra over here is a female Lystra, and now it's a female alpha Lystra. It's bigger, and the stats are better. Basically you're getting better stats out of it. It looks like the behavior doesn't really change. Like, it doesn't turn into like this crazy wanting to kill everything Lystra. It's not going to go out and eat everything. The temperament seems to be pretty much the same, but they're less likely to give up a fight, and they're going to be stronger too. So if you start a fight with them, it might not end well for you. But taming them would be the same way you would tame the normal variants as well. Anywho, so over here what I have is a crazy little graph here, just to kind of represent how the breeding thing works, because it is a little kind of tricky, but only for a certain reason. So there we have a male and female dillo. So the dillos, when you breed them, obviously you'd get a dillo, right? So the alphas, when you tame them, male and female, if you breed them, you would get an alpha, right? But what this mod also lets you do, it allows you to cross-pollinate between the two, but it has to be a female alpha and a male regular. That's the only way you can go between the two of them. And when you do that, when you take like an alpha female and breed it with a regular male, you end up with what's called a beta. So the beta doesn't get all of the crazy stat increase that the alpha does. It only gets half of them. So you end up with a creature somewhere between alpha and normal vanilla, which is kind of a cool concept. It allows you to kind of intermix, I guess, the stats, I guess, depending on what you're really trying to accomplish. And better stats are obviously better. But anyway, so any creature that you're gonna get has the potential to spawn in as an alpha. Now you can change these in your INI files, because potentially even boss creatures can spawn in as an alpha, and I don't know who would necessarily want that. I know I wouldn't. But anywho, like I said, you'll be able to change whether or not your bosses can spawn in as alphas, whether or not alpha, like, you can get these prime alphas to spawn in as well. You can change that all up. You can also change like how often they do that, whether or not they have the red smoke around them, and it seems to be like more for the prime, right? Like, obviously you're still going to get the normal alpha smoke that you would get off of the critters, normal alpha critters, but you get like considerably more off of the prime alphas. But you can pretty much turn anything in this game into anything out here into an alpha critter. We can go experiment real quick, actually, and it's pretty cut and dry how this works. You want an alpha perisher? Bam! Now you got an alpha perisher. That's how that works. Now these guys, like I said, will potentially just spawn out in the middle of nowhere by themselves. You want an alpha kangaroo? Bam! Now you got an alpha kangaroo. That's how that works. You want an alpha bronto? Don't know why you'd want one, but now you can have one. Alpha brontos. Would you need an alpha Argentavis? I don't know, but if you did, there's one right there. Well, maybe a scorpion. You can always have an alpha scorpion as well. He runs funny. Calicos, why wouldn't you? You should be an alpha. So should you. 2 calicos that are alphas. I don't know why we'd ever have an alpha Yudi. There we go. Maybe it yells louder, who knows? Oh, mammoths. You guys got a TLC. Here's another one. Bam. Alpha mammoths. Oh, saber cats. You guys should be alphas. Alpha deer. Bam. Don't know why you would ever need an alpha gallimimus, but now you can have one. Maybe you want an alpha dung beetle. Or ants. Giant ants. If ants aren't annoying enough already. The mighty Phiomia in an alpha shape. All in all, this is a pretty simple mod that stacks pretty well with just about any sort of creature mods in general. It seems to be that it can kind of work with other dino mods that add extra creatures to your map, because essentially it's kind of like a stat boost and a little bit of a cosmetic. That's what we're looking at, the ability for any creature to spawn in as alpha and then your alphas to become even better, and with a fully customizable INI. But again, we'll have a link to the Steam workshop in the description of the video so you guys can check that out. But that's pretty much it. I think I've turned everything, almost everything on this map into an alpha, so my work here is officially done. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time.